Right out of high school, straight into the military. Realized you'd never be all you thought you could be.
Yeah, well, you better tell your boyfriend to back off.
By the time you go to sleep tonight, I'm gonna own this building.
In a conflict zone in Iraq, a group of al-Qaeda militants has captured several American soldiers. A Marine named John Triton watches the situation unfold from a distance. His superiors instruct him to wait for backup before taking action. But when John sees that the soldiers are about to be executed, he decides to ignore orders and intervene. He bursts into the room where the hostages are about to be executed and quickly takes out the entire enemy team, rescuing the hostages. The next day, John is called in by his colonel and handed a letter of resignation for not following orders. John tries to explain the situation, but the colonel thanks him for his service, praising him as one of the best, and sends him home.
I'm a Marine. One of the best. Remember that.
Devastated, John returns to California where his wife, Kate, is overjoyed to have him home safely after so long. Kate and John spend intimate time together. Although Kate is eager to be with him, John finds it difficult to adjust to civilian life and begins working as a security guard to keep himself busy.
I know it's not going to be easy for you, John. We'll figure it out together.
The following day, a criminal mastermind named Rome plans a jewelry store robbery. He enters the store where his partners, Morgan, Viscera, and Bennett, are already waiting. Rome pretends to browse the diamonds, but soon pulls out his weapon and forces everyone to the ground. He creates a distraction and holds a woman, Angela, hostage. The diamonds are protected by bulletproof glass, so Rome forces the shop owner to open the door or he'll kill Angela.
I have children!
Once the door is open, Rome hands Angela a weapon, revealing that they were working together. They take all the diamonds and leave. When the shop owner becomes aware of Rome's identity, Rome immediately shoots him. As the criminals flee, a police car arrives at the scene, prompting Rome to open fire on the officers with a machine gun, while Morgan shoots up their patrol car. They blow up the patrol car and escape in their vehicle. Later, the police suspect one of the store employees might have been involved.
The same diamonds that were delivered just 24 hours ago. What are the odds of that?
Meanwhile, John starts his security guard job at a large corporation. He grows bored with the uneventful days, especially while his co-worker Joe spends his time goofing off and reading magazines. Joe tells him that he'll get promoted to management in 2 years if he does his job well. But John realizes that Joe has been working as a security guard for 9 years without a promotion.
How long you been working here?
9 years.
How come you're not in management?
Things take a turn when they receive a call about a man causing a scene on the 12th floor, throwing a tantrum and yelling at his ex-girlfriend. John and Joe rush to the scene, and John is forced to physically drag the man downstairs. When the man's bodyguards arrive, he taunts John, leading to a fight. John easily defeats the bodyguards and throws the man out of a building window. Furious, the man tells John that he will get him fired and leaves.
Because when you clock in, you're fired!
Unfortunately, John's actions cost him the job, and it turns out that this is his first and last day as a security guard. John and Joe take a break and talk for a while. John admits that all he knows is the military, and he struggles to adjust to regular jobs like ordinary people. He tells Joe that being a Marine meant everything to him. Joe tries to comfort him, reminding him that the only constant in life is change, and that he should appreciate the time he gets to spend with his family if that's what life has in store for him.
But your life's not over. I mean, it's changing, but you gotta learn to change with it.
Meanwhile, Rome and Angela are back in their hotel room, where Angela expresses concern about the scene they caused at the jewelry store. She says that killing all those people has put them at risk. Rome explains that he killed the store manager because he revealed his real name, and that the rest of the robbery went as planned. He reassures Angela that she has nothing to fear from him, and promises he will never harm her. He then starts kissing her passionately. Just then, Rome gets a phone call from someone who demands that he return the stolen diamonds in exchange for $6 million. They agree to meet the following day, and the call ends.
I've gained control.
Joe drops John off at home, and John asks him to keep what happened at work a secret, which Joe agrees to. When John returns home, Kate asks about his day, and he lies, saying everything went smoothly. However, moments later, their TV shows a news report about the violent altercation involving a security officer, and Kate realizes it was John. Seeing how much he's struggling, Kate suggests they take a trip to relax and clear their minds. John is hesitant at first, but agrees after a little persuasion.
Nowhere, anywhere, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. I've been thinking a lot about it.
The next day, Morgan picks up a car from a repair shop for the group. The man suggests that Morgan take a minivan, but Morgan sneaks away with a brand new Cadillac. Elsewhere, John and Kate begin their trip to the mountains. After driving for a while, they stop at a gas station to grab some snacks. Coincidentally, it's the same gas station where Rome and his crew are stopping. John heads into the store while Kate stays in the car. While Rome is filling up the gas, a police car arrives, causing the criminals to become nervous. The officer doesn't recognize them and strikes up a conversation with Rome. The others watch the situation from inside the store. As Rome is talking with the police officer, for no apparent reason, Morgan becomes anxious, walks up behind the officer, and shoots him in the head. With no choice left, Rome opens fire on the other officer. When John hears the commotion outside, he tries to investigate but is knocked unconscious by Bennett. Angela shoots the store clerk as the criminals rush out of the store. They decide to take John's truck and spot Kate sitting in the car, deciding to take her hostage in case the police try to stop them. As John begins to regain consciousness, he sees Kate being taken away forcefully by the group. When he manages to pull himself together and stand up, Morgan shoots at the gas tank, causing a massive explosion at the store. Miraculously, John survives the blast without injury. He quickly gets out and sees the criminals driving away. He helps the injured officer inside the car, gets into the police car, radios for backup, reports the situation, and begins following the criminals.
4 men, 1 woman, headed southbound on I-95 in a black Navigator.
Rome realizes John is following them and instructs the others to open fire on him. The criminals continue to attack John, but his military training makes him unfazed. Rome then tries to force him off the road, but John is persistent and follows them without hesitation. John chases the criminals while bullets rain down on it. John crashes into Rome on the road, forcing him to drive into the woods. Eventually, Rome drives toward the edge of a cliff, and they open fire on John, forcing him to drive off the edge. The car goes into the sky as the criminals continue shooting until it explodes in midair and crashes below. Fortunately, John jumped out of the car before the explosion. The criminals arrive at the scene and assume he is dead. Meanwhile, Kate, frantic and screaming, accuses them of murder, causing Angela to lose control. In a fit of rage, Angela points a gun at Kate, but Rome stops her, reminding her that Kate is their insurance. When Morgan tries to fight with Viscera, Rome gets angry and tells them to stop and think about how they can escape instead of fighting each other. Since their car is wrecked, they decide to make their way through the swamps to avoid being caught. Angela knocks out Kate when she insults her.
Angie, why'd you do that? Now Morgan's got to carry her.
At the same time, Detective Van Buren arrives at the gas station and hears about John's radio call. He is soon notified of the cliff accident and drives to the location. As he arrives, John, still alive, emerges and tells Van Buren that his wife has been kidnapped. The detective tells John that the case is now in the hands of the police and refuses to let John pursue the criminals, warning him how dangerous they are. Undeterred by the threat, John is determined to rescue his wife, and Van Buren tells him to hurry if he wants to save her. Without hesitation, John heads off in pursuit.
I've seen what these guys can do. You better hurry.
Elsewhere, Rome and his crew make their way through the swamp, with Kate fighting back against her captors. Angela slaps her again, and Bennett catches Kate, holding her tightly. Morgan, frustrated with the swamp, argues with Viscera about who is to blame for their troubles. Their argument quickly escalates. Rome, irritated by their bickering, shoots Viscera without explanation. The others are shocked by Rome's action, but they continue moving.
Think they're hungry? Not anymore.
John keeps going through the woods and reaches the spot where Viscera was shot. He can't find his body, as it has been eaten by the hungry alligators in the area. Shortly after, Rome receives a call from his boss, who scolds him for the chaos they've caused. Rome insists that they will keep the diamonds for themselves, claiming they've done the hard work. His boss threatens him, warning that there will be consequences. Their conversation is interrupted by the sound of a helicopter chasing them. Rome hangs up and runs away with his team.
All right. Air show's over. Let's get the hell out of here.
As they move through the woods, Morgan once again starts complaining about their journey, saying it is very dangerous. Rome tells him to stop ranting. Rome then stops and asks Kate for her opinion. She insults him, saying she thinks he's psychotic. He responds by telling her she's beautiful, saying he'd have a chance with her if it weren't for Angela. You're insane. Meanwhile, John, still searching for the criminals, reaches a clearing in the woods and senses something is wrong. Just then, a net springs up beneath him, but he quickly cuts himself free. Before he can react, a man holds him at gunpoint, accusing him of being a cop. John tells him he is not a cop. When the man doesn't believe him, John forces him to drop his weapon. John tries to explain that he's searching for his wife, but before he can finish, another man knocks him out from behind. Elsewhere, the cops get very close to where the criminals are hiding. Kate tries to scream, but Bennett holds her mouth, stopping her from making any noise. Later, John regains consciousness in a shed where he's being held captive by two men. They mistakenly believe he's a cop who's going to arrest them for their illegal activities. John denies being a cop, but the men continue to torture him.
I got choppers buzzing around here. I got you sneaking up our asses.
Eventually, John pretends to confess, claiming he is a cop and that his colleagues are tracking him with a GPS. The men panic upon hearing this, giving John the opportunity to overpower one of them. He quickly jumps and breaks the chair he was tied to, freeing himself. He then knocks out one of the men and starts fighting the second. After a violent struggle, he manages to defeat the second man and escape. John finds himself back in the forest, though he has lost sight of Rome and his wife. Undeterred, he keeps moving forward and reaches a river, where he spots Rome and his gang entering an abandoned hut with Kate. Inside, the criminals realize the electricity is out. Rome orders Morgan to look for a generator to power the place. What if there's some guy out there with a hockey mask and a hatchet? Morgan refuses, scared of the whole situation. He then brings up a childhood memory, mentioning an embarrassing thing he did. The group laughs at him. Morgan finally agrees to look for the generator and goes out. He finds the generator and turns it on. John sneaks up behind him, and the two engage in a fight. Morgan hits John with a bottle, but John manages to kill him with a blade. Afterward, Rome steps outside to make a phone call, asking a contact to have a vehicle ready at the marina for their escape. He also mentions the need for a working boat. He then sends Bennett to start a boat that's stranded nearby and to check on Morgan since he's taking too long. As Bennett steps out, John attacks him, leading to another intense fight. John eventually defeats Bennett and kills him. He hides both Bennett and Morgan's bodies beneath the hut. At the same time, Detective Van arrives at the scene. He tells John to let the cops handle it from there, but John refuses. With no other options, Van gives John the freedom to handle things his way.
I gotta do something, and I gotta do it now.
John turns off the electricity as a diversion, allowing Kate to escape the hut. However, Angela catches up with her, and the two fight intensely. Kate manages to overpower Angela, but Angela recaptures her using the weapon she was holding. John climbs through a window, stepping into the room where Rome is. Just as he confronts him, Detective Van enters, forcing Rome to drop his weapons. Van demands the diamonds, and Rome, without hesitation, suggests that Van shoot John if he wants to claim them. To John's shock, Van turns his gun toward him.
Give me my damn diamonds!
Whoa! Calm down, VB.
At that moment, it is revealed that Van had been secretly instructing Rome to return the stolen diamonds. However, Van hesitates for just a brief moment, and this hesitation gives John the opportunity to act. He rushes at Van, using him as a human shield while Rome fires at them. After the chaos, Rome manages to break free from the confrontation and reunites with Angela, who is still holding Kate captive. In an effort to cover their escape, Rome fires at a nearby fuel tank, causing the entire shack to explode. John barely escapes the blast by jumping through a window and landing in the river. As he surfaces from the water, a Coast Guard officer attempts to arrest him.
I'm John Triton. Shut up!
John overpowers the officer, takes his boat and gun, and speeds off in pursuit of the criminals. Meanwhile, Rome, in a desperate move, steals Detective Van's car and drives off. The police quickly track him down, and he is forced to abandon the vehicle. Angela, now on foot and running out of options, approaches a truck driver on the road asking for a ride. However, she kills him shortly after, and they continue their journey without hesitation. While still on the boat, John hears a report on the radio about the truck driver's murder. His mind races, remembering the conversation he overheard between Rome and his contact earlier. Suspecting they are headed to Rita's marina, John follows the trail. Upon reaching the marina, he spots Rome driving a truck and quickly climbs aboard. With determination, John grabs Angela by the neck and throws her through the truck's windshield, killing her instantly and spilling the stolen diamonds all over the ground. In an effort to shake John off, Rome drives the truck into a line of shacks. Despite the violent attacks, John manages to hold on for a while, but eventually he is thrown from the truck, which crashes into a building, leading to a massive explosion. Rome, seeing that he can't drive the truck anymore, abandons it, leaving Kate handcuffed inside. John, relentless in his pursuit, rushes after the truck, which has crashed through a building and into the river. He finally confronts Rome in a fiery warehouse. The two engage in an intense and brutal fight, with John inflicting severe damage to Rome. Eventually, John overpowers him and throws him into the flames. As John turns to rescue Kate, he sees her trapped inside the sinking truck. Without wasting a moment, John dives into the water, pulls her out, and performs CPR. After several attempts, Kate begins to breathe again. Slowly, but surely, just when they think they are safe, a horribly burned Rome reappears, attempting to strangle John with a chain. John fights back, grabbing the chain and using it to kill Rome by slicing his neck. With the danger now past, John and Kate share a tender embrace, their lips meeting in a kiss. As the police arrive at the scene, John, relieved and exhausted, says they should have gone to the beach instead. The two laugh together, grateful for the peace they finally found.